We'll hit a couple points here, Jeff. Two things. You know, you talk about a team building for the future and stuff, and the guys were talking about how you gave them a picture of, a team that is hitting rock bottom, and this is the rock bottom game, but teams come up from this. You talk about building for the future, but this is not a game that you're going to look at as a building block, I won't think. Number one, and then we'll get to some other stuff. Go ahead.
I would disagree. I mean, I think
Okay.
at the end of the day, I mean, there's no straight line to the top, considering what these guys and the program's been through the last 9 months. I mean, to be honest with you, that I was expecting maybe a few more games like that this year. I mean, when you're playing with the 5th youngest team in the country, with 7 scholarship players as of right now, 4 of them are true freshmen. For us to fight and compete like we have over the course of the last how many games we played, you can't, I got nothing but the utmost respect for our guys and the direction of where the program's going. But a lot of guys have been in this business a long time. We've won a lot of games. I've been in this position before. Every place I've been to, it wasn't the best job. I mean, I inherited a lot of, as an assistant coach, a lot of programs with losing records. First years are really, really tough, but at the end of the day, you just keep building, and you can't really sometimes look at the results, because if you do, then you're going to take a step backwards, or we're going to get negative as coaches, and all we can do is keep building these guys up. And and that's where the one thing is, I'll never back down for our players. And when a coach wants to make the comments that he knows what he said to one of my players, I'm going to fight for our guys. And you're just not going. We'll keep that in the back of our mind. And he knows what he said.
Okay, you're leading into it, what I'm going to ask. But go ahead.
And I'm not going to repeat what he says, but he knows what he said.
Oh.
But he's not going to say that to one of my players. I don't care who he is. That's just not the way we do things. That's not the way you act as a coach. I
can say what I heard him say.
Well, you can say what you can hear him say, but I'll.
Right. He said, "You think this is funny, number 5?"
Yeah, and then he said no, and that's what he said. But then there was something after that, which is when I lost my cool. So, I said he knows what he said. Like I said, and that's part of it. They're a good team. I said I respect what they do as a program. They got good, smart players. Jacob Wiley's a heck of a player. Thought we did a good job really on Wiley and Blizniak, but we lost. We lost a couple of those guys. Gibson, he had a career night. And give credit to them. That's what an older, mature team does to a young, sometimes young equals dumb team. And you look out there, Jacob Wiley's a 5th-year senior. You got Blizniak's a junior. You got a bunch of older guys who've been through some tough games in the league, and that's where our guys, they're going to learn through that. And I said it was at Boise State, and we went 3-15 our first year in the Mountain West. Well, that same team came back and went to the NCAA tournament the next year with a bunch of freshmen. So the experience that they're getting right now, it's only going to pay off dividends in the long run.
Let me just clear up, Kobe. Who did Ransom foul on that play?
It was Gibson.
It was Gibson?
It was Gibson.
Jeff, were you concerned at all, and did you have to say anything to your kids about post-game handshake, just shake their hands and not?
No, I mean, I mentioned to our guys that we're going to act with class. We're going to do it the right way. Regardless of their guys, which I think they have a group of good guys, so I wasn't really too concerned with what they were going to say. But just wanted to make sure our guys knew that regardless, win or lose, we're going to act with class. And regardless if they were to say anything, you don't open your mouth. Just go through, shake their hand, tell them a good game. Because at the end of the day, they did. They played a good game. And so that was what's said. But I know our guys, they understand when we tell them to do something, they're going to do it. But just wanted to make sure that we reminded them.
You had more than just nice game when you shook hands with 44, Von Hof. What did you say to him?
Felix is a guy that I actually saw when he was in Australia, when I went over there when I was at Boise State, when we had recruited Anthony Jermick and Igor Hadziamarovic. And, I know he's a fiery guy, competitor, and just, he's a guy that leaves it on the court. And my back was turned to Ranson. Now, if Ranson was smiling at him or if he was laughing, I'll address that with him. And as I told him, let me deal with that. If he wants to act that way, if the film shows it, I'll deal with him. You don't worry about that. You're too good of a player. And I said he understood that. He's a good kid.
Okay, you're talking about Van Hof?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get in some numbers. I don't care who you're playing. 28%, 28.3% is not going to fly.
No, 28.3% won't fly. And as a coach, I think what we do is we go back and look at the shots that we did take, and were they good shots? Were they bad shots? I mean, were they uncontested shots? Were they contested shots? And, you know, my job as a coach is to make sure I put those guys in position to be successful, you know, put them in positions to where, you know, they get open looks. And I think if you go back, you watch the film from Thursday, which we did, you know, we missed a lot of easy shots, you know, especially when the game was, you know, in the first half when it was kind of in the balance, you know. And I thought the same thing this game, where in the first half, you know, where it's you know, it's not a double-digit lead for them.
No, you're in hunt.
You know, we felt like we got open shots, we got layups at the rim, and we just didn't make them. It's a make-miss game, and sometimes with a younger team, I'm not sure. I thought we've done a good job of making sure we manage their legs, but you know, with five freshmen that never been through this before, 2 sophomores, Chaz Galata hasn't played in 2 years. And then DJ Miles hasn't been through a Division I grind. I mean, yeah, he's played in junior college, but the grind of this season is a lot different than what the junior college season is. So, you know, maybe that, you know, we've kind of hit a wall a little bit. But like I said, these guys, they'll come back and fight. I mean, it's the same team that a week ago at North Dakota against the number 2 team in the league was up double digits the whole game. It's just a funny game sometimes how it works. But, you know, I said hats off to Eastern Washington. They came in here and they beat our tails.
I was going to ask this the other night, and I didn't, and I'm looking here tonight, you were 11 for 16 from the line. This free throw thing, is it an issue?
I mean, if you're 351st in the country at last, yeah, I mean, there's an issue. I mean, it's, you know, it can only go up from there. That's the good thing. I mean, we're at rock bottom. Free throws percentage is at rock bottom. All we can do is just go up. It's
Well, you went up some tonight a little bit.
Yeah, so it's not from the lack of effort. It's not from not trying. It's just, you know, sometimes, you know, I'm going to say I'm not a psychologist, although sometimes we pretend we are. You never know what's going through the mind of an 18 to 22-year-old. And it's, like I said, sometimes people on the outside looking in think it's a free throw, but, you know, put some of those people up to the free throw line in those situations, it's not necessarily free.